Hey, everybody, welcome back into another edition of the drbicuspid.com podcast. My name is Kevin Henry. I'm the editor in chief for drbicuspid.com. You know, I know I'm already looking forward to the Chicago Midwinter Meeting, the highlight of the year, absolutely bar none. And with that in mind, I'm thrilled to be joined today by Dr. Phil Schefke, who is the 2026 president of the Chicago Dental Society. Dr. Schefke, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great, Kevin. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Well, as I said, and not blowing smoke, Chicago is the high point for the dental industry in the year, and so I know so many people are excited about being back in the Windy City in February. And I'm curious. There are people out there who still haven't been to a midwinter, so I've got to ask you, what's the big draw? Chicago in February. Why do people keep coming back to midwinter?
Well, Kevin, just a little back up into history. This is our 161st meeting, and it's a tremendous opportunity because we know that in Chicago, if you go to a meeting, you are not going to go to any outdoor events. And so those exhibitors know that they will get traffic in the exhibit hall. Not only that, but we have worked really hard over the course of our career here at the CDS that we like to think that we have the finest meeting. And each year we take information, we take feedback, and we put it together and we work to put the nicest, best, most collegial, most informative and educational meeting that anyone could possibly have. I have to agree with you there.
Whenever I talk to my peers, this is the meeting for product launches. This is the meeting for parties and get togethers and things like that. And it's been amazing to me to see since COVID how the Chicago Midwinter Meeting has kind of morphed itself to make sure it's keeping up with the times. What has stood out to you about what's happened since COVID to make Chicago as strong as ever?
Well, again, since COVID, everyone had the question, is the in-person meeting the actual best thing we could do? Because we learned that we could do things online efficiently. Unfortunately, you cannot bottle collegiality and that one-on-one opportunity that we have with one another, the opportunity to touch and feel and to compare products right on the exhibit floor and to learn from an individual who's right there in the room with you. There's nothing like that. And again, we saw the opportunity since COVID that if we would just listen to the people who attend these meetings, decide what's important, figure out what they want, and I think we've delivered 110%.
So I've got to ask you, what are some of the things that you heard that people wanted that you all have instituted for 2026?
Well, we have a number of opportunities on the exhibit floor, first of all, that is creating a better experience for our attendees. We have lounges for the early career dentist for them to be collegial with one another, a bit of a private space. We have an international dentist facility lounge on our exhibit floor this year. You may or may not know, but we have 67 countries represented each year at the Midwinter Meeting. Not only that, but we have every state represented as well. There's attendees from every state in the union come to the midwinter. We have a larger floor plan. We have more walkable aisles. We have opportunities on one day we've got Garrett popcorn. We'll be giving away Garrett's popcorn on a day. Who doesn't love that? Friday we've got Sip, Suds, and Sales, which is a bit of a relaxing atmosphere where we'll provide opportunities for an adult beverage and to walk the clinic floor or the exhibit floor. So that's part of it. That the exhibit obviously is a huge part of our meeting, but we're very proud of what we've done for the lecture series. And if you have a few moments, I could tell you a bit about that.
Please.
Well, we realize that this meeting is not just for doctors, it's for the staff. And I know that's a dear part of your career. And so what we've done is we've provided over 60 seminars, lectures for just the business staff, and the individuals who are in the front. We've got 25 hygiene programs alone, and we have 75 for assistants. And we offer the opportunity for a CDS member or an associate member, a package. Again, no registration fee, and that's unusual for any dental meeting. We offer for members no registration fee, which is incredibly a huge benefit. And we go further. We say if you want to go all 3 days and watch and participate in seminars, the lecture series is $275 for 3 days of lectures. Now, that doesn't include the workshops, but this year we have over 44 workshops. That's the highest level we've ever attained for workshops because people are looking for them. The workshops are continually selling out at the Midwinter Meeting. So that's what we want to do. People are like, where's more workshops? So we gave it to them.
You mentioned it, and I'm going to thank you because we know how important team education is, and we know how important it is to get it from the right people at the right time. And yes, I'm blessed to be speaking twice at Chicago Midwinter 2026, once to the front office team and once to the assistants. And I think that that's an important thing whenever you're planning a meeting. As you said, the doctors, absolutely, it's critical to get them to come in, but the rest of the team to feel included as well is something I've always felt Chicago has done a very good job of.
Right. And one thing to add as well, I failed to mention that we've started a beautiful opportunity for hygienists. On Saturday at lunchtime, we have a hygienist luncheon for only $20. They get a buffet lunch, and it's just a sectioned off part of the exhibit floor just for them. And they can be collegial with their fellow hygienists and just a special place for them because we know that they're a critical part of our team.
Whenever you went into planning this meeting, tell me a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes to make sure that you're checking all the boxes and putting together as good a meeting as you possibly can.
Well, I must say that we have a tremendous staff at the CDS. We have a great board. Our board listens to everyone around us and we listen to good ideas. And then we have a staff that transforms those ideas into reality. Believe it or not, the CDS only has a staff of 15 employees. And through them, we do tremendous work. The director of scientific sessions, Cheryl Mora, does a tremendous job. We start on the board, let's say, for example, an officer is a 5-year program, and I'm starting my 5th year as president. So 4 years, I've been scouting, I've been working with the staff, and I've been working with Cheryl Mora to go across the country, and including Canada, to find those individuals who are fantastic speakers. And I can mention we have 150 speakers coming this year.
Wow.
Of those 150, 70 of them have never been at the Midwinter before. So we don't want to just keep redoing what we're doing and showing the same thing year after year. We know that there's tremendous talent out there and we seek them out, and it takes years. In fact, this meeting has been pretty much, we say in the can, it's been finished for 2 years. That's all the details, all the speakers, all the contracts. It is a behemoth of a task. And yet, when we do it well, people think it must be easy, but it's not. It's really, really hard. And so that's why, I find it a little tricky. We want to get people to join us because it is such a wonderful event. But I get it. February is tough. People think that it's going to snow in Chicago. We've had some great weather in recent years, sometimes all the way into the 60s and 70s. But I know that Chicago is notorious for awful traffic, and you could be sitting on the expressway, bumper to bumper traffic. But understand that the CDS has heard you, and what they do is they have bus shuttles from Union Station or from Ogilvy Station, and they'll bring you directly to McCormick Place's door. And so if you feel like you don't want to do the drive, you don't want to pay for parking, just hop on a train, go to the exit. There's a bus waiting for you, and we'll bring you right to the Midwinter. Couldn't be easier.
And again, that goes back to you all listening to some of the maybe not so great parts, but to make sure that
Right.
those not so great parts are elevated to match the rest of the meeting as well.
Exactly. And of course, Chicago has always been historically named one of the best big cities in America. You can't beat our restaurant scene. If you can't find a good meal here, I don't know where you're looking. Of course, I'm partial to deep dish pizza, of course. And so certainly give that a try on one of your evenings. And speaking of like going out, I mean, we do take care of all of those other things for people, but we also provide social opportunities for them as well. On Thursday afternoon, we have a keynote speaker. Perhaps you've heard of him, Chris Chelios. He's a Hall of Fame hockey player, played for both Chicago and for Detroit. And he's going to come and give us some opportunity to learn about leadership and for taking care of teamwork. And I'm looking forward to that. He will also stick around for 2 hours afterwards and provide autograph opportunities for everyone who wants to stay. So that's Thursday. Friday, we've got another great event. It's called Beats and Bites. It's a DJ for 4 hours. It's connected to the McCormick Place, so you don't have to leave. You don't have to get dressed. You don't have to like change. Just come on over, and it's going to be a great time for food and drinks. And then, of course, on Saturday, we've got the President's Dinner Dance, which is a little black tie affair that we have to celebrate the conclusion, which I believe is probably the only one left. Other places, such as New York, has no longer providing their black tie event. Other meetings are curtailing. And again, the Chicago Dental Meeting is actually doubling down on the wonderful things that we offer. And we think that we offer a very special event, a special meeting. And you can come on Wednesday and stay till Sunday, and I don't think you'll be disappointed on any one of those days.
The networking opportunities are just, it blows my mind, honestly. From my side of things with the industry, how much that we network. And then I talk to my peers who are dentists or team members in the Chicago area, and they say the same exact thing from their side as well.
Of course. I couldn't, again, I'm just going to refer back to the board. We have people on that board that have worked long and hard, and we have a staff that just does an amazing job. And it's been a transition. And so we've worked really hard to make it special. And even we talked a little bit about the staff and the doctors, but even people who are not even dentists yet, we focus on students as well. We have a poster area that all the students doing research from across the country can present their posters, and we can learn from them. And we also provide them on Friday afternoon. We have a student reception, which historically draws about 600 students from across the country. And I mean,
Wow.
what better place to network with students from across the country but at Midwinter Meeting? It's a remarkable gathering. If you've ever seen it, it's just a sea of students, which is fantastic.
Well, a couple more questions for you. First, let people know, how do they learn more about Midwinter? I know that obviously time is ticking to get ready for February. What's a good place for them to learn more information?
Well, it is past November 3rd. November 3rd was our kickoff day, and sales are really robust from what I understand. And so the best opportunities are now and not waiting till later. If you are a CDS member or associate member, you get a $50 rebate when you do buy something on the exhibit floor. So in addition to having a very great annual dues for the CDS, you get $50 back. And so you can't beat that. So you got to jump on that early. But to your point, one of the beautiful things that the CDS has done, and you may or may not have seen it yet, but we have a standalone website for the Midwinter Meeting, and it is robust in everything Midwinter. It has a live exhibit floor. You can see real time where the exhibit floor is at this moment, who's at what booth, and where everything is. It's CDS Midwinter Meeting at CDS. Again, if you Google it, it'll pop up as its own website. CDS.org is our parent website, and you can always find the hyperlink in that website as well. But we've made it tremendously or way easier to register. We've got a new registration company, and it's much more mindful of how you enter all your data and making it so much easier for you to register. We've heard that as well, that the registration is sometimes a little bogged down. We've changed our entire registration system. One of the things that I must tell you, which is terribly important, is that we are no longer going to be mailing out the badges. So I can't tell you how many times people go to the meeting and they're like, they forgot their badge at home. They can't find their badge. And it's just crazy on Thursdays, right? Everybody is scrambling. So what we've done is that we've taken that task and just made a QR code that you'll be getting. And when you get to McCormick Place, you go to a kiosk, just flash your QR code, out comes your badge, and off you go to your lecture. And that, in order to avoid any lines there, we also have the same kiosks at 3 of the participating hotels. I believe it's the Hyatt on Wacker, you've got the Marriott, and you've got the Hilton, the Hyatt down by McCormick Place, if I'm not mistaken. So we've got those opportunities, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. The technology is changing, and we are not sitting on it. We're printing badges. We're not putting them in the little plastic envelopes. You know, That ended years ago even, but even still, everything is on that QR code. Everything will be on your badge. Entries for your lectures and for your workshops and for your special events, everything will be on that badge.
That's great. And we're going to have the link to the Chicago Midwinter Meeting. If you're listening to this on Dr. Bicuspid, it's in the show notes. If you're reading this on Dr. Bicuspid, it's in the article. Real easy for you to find. Last and probably most important question I'm going to ask you today. You mentioned deep dish. Is it Geno's East, Lou Malnati's, Giordano's? What's your specialty? Hey,
Well, I grew up on Giordano's, and so I must give a shout out to them. They used to call it the Popeye special. It was spinach, cheese, and I believe it comes with sausage. So it's just if you have that, it's a meal for sure.
Giordano's is a must if you're ever in Chicago. I completely agree with you. I didn't want to start a holy war here with pizza, but I had to ask you. So, Dr. Schefke, appreciate the time today and absolutely looking forward to being in Chicago on a number of levels.
Thank you, Kevin. Really appreciate the time.
Absolutely. And thanks to all of you for listening to this episode of the drbicuspid.com podcast. Yes, I'm going to be speaking there twice. We're going to make sure to put that in the show notes as well. If you have somebody in the front office or an assistant who needs a little pep, I promise you, we're going to have that along with all the other amazing speakers that'll be there as well. Till next time, it's Kevin Henry, editor in chief of Dr. Bicuspid, signing off. And as always, wishing you nothing but success ahead.